Come on. I probably should have hit play a while ago,
That's okay.
but okay. Uh, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Born Wild podcast. I'm your host, Will DeWert, and right now I'm looking at some guy in a wizard hat and a shark onesie.
Correction.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeti.
what?
It's a Yeti onesie.
It's a Yeti onesie. All right, that's my fault. Well, it somewhat fits the theme because I believe in Bigfoot.
Yeah, as do I. And the Yeti. He's
Dude,
out there.
I could go down a rabbit hole about Bigfoot if we wanted to get down there.
I don't think we should go.
Dude, that is a rabbit hole. Anyway, today I am joined by my best friend from middle school throughout college. He's a loving cat owner. And sometimes I forget why I'm friends with him. This man's name is Noah May, ladies and gentlemen. Noah, how are you?
I'm fantastic. It's a pleasure to be on episode number 2 of the podcast.
I figured, given the events that we're about to put ourselves through, that there's really no better way or no better person to have on than you. Is my mic?
And Buffington.
I'm sorry, who's Buffington?
Sir Buffington is here as well. He is my 7-month-old tabby. He's a little kitten.
Dude.
And he is my baby.
That cat almost prevented us from going turkey hunting next weekend. And I'm going to be honest. So I hate this man's cat for a couple of reasons. One, he bought it because he was lonely and sad. 2,
not true.
No, it's absolutely true.
Not true at all.
No. And it's prevented him from doing fun things sometimes. And if it would have prevented him from going on this adventure, I don't know if I'd have been able to speak to him for at least like 3 weeks.
Hey, but we're all good. Still on track for this weekend. I got a buddy watching him, so we're set.
Well, thank fuck for that. Oh shit, we're not really. I'm trying to avoid the F-bomb. I'm not even going to edit that out because it's mainly for school, but in the future episodes, I will probably just let it loose because the whole idea here is to kind of just be raw, unpolished, like relatable people. And that's what we're going to give people. Oh yeah. Before we get into today's episode, be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review on Apple Podcasts. Drop us a follow on Spotify or SoundCloud or wherever you consume your podcasts. Be sure to follow the Instagram account for this podcast at bornwild_2016. More than likely you already are if you know about this podcast. But if you're not, go ahead and drop it a follow anyway. The Twitter handle is at bornwild, where you can catch up with news and keep up with announcements relating to the show. Subscribe. There we go. Subscribe onto our YouTube channel, Born Wild, to see me kill a deer at 25 yards and then freak the hell out over finding it in the bushes, because that was my first deer and that was really cool. All sorts of other blogs and stuff around there. What else is on there? I do some NTB unboxings. I make really cringe videos of me and my truck. It's a good time. So go ahead and subscribe to there on YouTube. You can find us on TikTok at Born Wild. Yeah, no, we're doing TikTok things now.
Wow, all the platforms.
Dude, you gotta cross promote. That's how you grow this stuff, man. Dude, that's gonna be a problem.
You see this?
If you're watching this on a video platform, there's a cat batting at his wizard hat. The same cat, which days are very numbered.
I will.
He's waving at right now. If you're just the auto version, you can't hear that. Oh man,
he's gonna be the star of the show, man. I'm telling you.
Jesus Christ, yeah. Let's just dive into. I'm not gonna edit any of that because it's kind of funny, but
keep it.
Oh, it's definitely staying in. So let's just dive into this. You've begun a journey, my friend. You've begun a powerful, enlightening journey. you are about to become a new hunter, and which is odd for people of your age. And when I say you're not necessarily a new to this,
No.
like you have some experiences. So like, what's your so like this is like the first time we'll say you're taking it seriously and like are like really interested in. It's like what's your current like history like in the outdoors? Because right now, if you can see this man, it looks like he's never stepped outside his office in his life.
Yeah. So growing up, spent a ton of time outdoors, camping all over the Midwest, and actually went deer hunting when I was, I don't know, maybe like 10, 12 years old with my dad and brother. Um, I mean, very limited experience hunting. Have shot an actual like real rifle once at a deer, to which I missed
Nice.
completely. I was freaking out,
Yeah, that happens.
shaking. The adrenaline was just, I've never felt anything like that. But yeah, that's kind of my limited experience with the hunting space.
So, and then, but like fast forward to now, you're 22 years old. You haven't really like thought about that sport or that aspect of your life in what, 10 years?
Yeah, give or
What
take.
kind of like re-sparked your interest?
Um, it sounds weird, but Meat Eater. I stumbled across it just on Netflix one day, just bored. Um, got hooked really quickly. Went through all the episodes, and then found myself in a rabbit hole on YouTube, just watching anything and everything hunting. And it might have been the fact of the move here to Chicago, and I'm, in the heart of the city, surrounded by buildings, and to get that little escape into nature and seeing just this beautiful landscape per episode. I think that kind of, something switched and that interest came back alive.
I would also say that, so I feel like a lot of people are not necessarily like following you to the degree that, or not following your footsteps, but doing the same thing to, I wouldn't say they're doing the same thing to the degree that you're doing it, like the commitment that you've had. But like, I think the thing about Steve Rinella is that he puts it in such philosophical term philosophy. I'm so dumb, dude. I can't say those words. Like
Philosophical.
philosophical. Thank you. See, that's why I have you here. Philosophical terms, and he's such a well-educated and well-rounded individual that he kind of like breaks people's like ideas of like what a professional hunter is, because like a lot of like we'll call them like people who don't hunt, but city people or whatever, they think that a lot of times it's just about going out and drinking beer and shooting anything that moves in the woods. And there's still a fair amount of that. I'd say not nearly as much as like 20 years ago, but like I think he does a good job of like putting that community, the outdoors community, in a better light, and he gets people really engaged in the sports, and it like gives people like, oh my god, like what is this world, like what is this, like they look at Prince of Wales Island, Alaska, and it's just this and they like all they know is concrete. It's just this untouched, like nobody's been there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those who are really involved in the sport activity, whatever you want to categorize it in.
I really hate to call it a sport because that makes me sound like, oh, I'm a sport hunter, but like we'll call it lifestyle. Let's call it lifestyle. Lifestyle, because I think that's the most appropriate.
Yes, I'll get behind that. But there's a huge respect for the game. It sounds kind of backwards when people are like, okay, well, you respect these animals, you love these animals, but yeah, you're going out and killing them. And, it sounds so upside down. But when you hear someone who's so passionate about it and explains it well, it really drives home and it makes sense, and
Mhm.
that's one of the things about specifically bow hunting, which interests me. I've never gone, but I think it's going to be, what I get hooked into,
I
because there's
I
so
think
much
it's
skill and technicality and respect.
yeah. I think that you've heard me talk about it a lot too, and just like it's a completely different activity than the 10-day gun season that we got here in Wisconsin. I mean, I put work in all summer. I build relationships with like these animals. I've spent hundreds of hours in the trees. Like I shit you not. I think last year I spent like well over 100 hours in a deer stand when I probably should have been studying, but that's not the point. Um, and it just gets to be such an intimate experience with like not only animal but just like nature itself. Like there, one of the cool things I'm so excited. We'll talk about like our upcoming adventure more later, but like I really cannot wait for you to like where you are now in your life. I cannot wait for you to like listen to the world wake up. And it's kind of, it sounds super cheesy, but like everything that's dormant just comes alive. It goes from silence and then everything just comes alive and you have all these sounds and it's just so cool. And it's a very primal feeling and it's super, super surreal. And especially to somebody that's never done it before. I mean, it still gets me every single time I'm out, and I like have done this my entire life. Like I've been probably dedicated my life to going outside and doing things in the forest,
Mhm. Yeah,
which is
I
fun.
could imagine, but I also think with that, it's extremely good for your mental health as well. We don't have to go like down this route, but I'm just saying like being out in nature is so positive for us as humans. It's just,
Mhm.
it sounds kind of, odd, but there's so many studies and facts about, getting away and just being
There is
absorbed in
no
nature.
more away than in nature.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so good for you.
Yeah. That's like when we went up in we hiked Snowmass Creek Trail this summer. We were like we're still gonna have cell service where we go. When we like backpacked in to Snowmass Lake, no cell service, none.
Nope.
We
Nothing.
were like it was super cool. And oh, man, that was such a fun trip.
I mean, that was an amazing trip, but I also think uh, because we went on that trip, that was my first time ever, doing like intense backpacking before. I mean,
Yeah,
what was it? 27 miles, 3 days, 15,000 feet of elevation gain.
it
Like this
wasn't
isn't some sort of like easy trail. I mean, we
well.
are in the thick of it, going up and down, death marches. Like it was incredible.
Yeah,
It was
Jake, you are never
absolutely,
allowed to pick the trail again if you ever listen to this. Oh my god. We like to think ourselves pretty in shape individuals.
yeah, no way.
That was
That was it was a humbling experience for sure.
very, very humbling.
Extremely. But with that, I think also what turned me on to hunting too is, because we did that, because we were out in nature in the thick of it for days, and then you go from that, and it was such a positive experience, and then you're watching these videos where these guys are just going up and down these mountains. They're in the thick of it like we were, but there's also a
There's a whole
goal
other
attached.
element
Yeah, there's a
involved.
whole other element. There's a whole other goal attached to it, rather than I mean, it was a huge challenge and a goal, and extremely satisfactory in completing our hike. But then on top of it, like doing that, but then having a goal of like you know uh, developing stalking skills and going after animals, like that's a whole nother element that really enticed me to get interested in this sport again.
Right. And I feel like that as you've like gotten more and more interested, you've gone down these rabbit holes on YouTube specifically, and I've just started watching these guys. And for me personally, I got So I mean, I've done this like all my life. I've done turkey hunting, bass fishing, and all this stuff. I really didn't get hooked till like I think senior year of high school is when I got hooked because I snapped my arm in half during football season. And our football program in our high school was very, very competitive. We didn't really have time for anything else. Um, and so like I would never got to like, and it was all fall, so I never really got to experience like the best part of our archery season here in Wisconsin. And so when I broke my arm in half, I was like, huh, maybe I'll get into this. And I was started watching like YouTube videos. Like I just looked up like, oh, archery elk hunt. And I saw this one video of this guy kill this massive bull. It was have you watched the Get Hushing guys at all?
No, no, not that.
No, okay. I'll have to show you them. They're really, really good guys. But this guy, you talk about a master of the craft of archery. Like this guy's Cam Hanes good. He
Mhm.
shoots like a 400H bull at like 95 yards.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was crazy. And just like his reaction, and he shoots this thing twice, like once one week and once the next week after. And just like watching the emotions and stuff go, I was just like, yo, there's something here. And then so I got hooked on it when I bow hunted this bit of property that my buddy owned, that a Brant, Austin, or our Austin Brant. He owned some land 30 minutes from our house. And I just hunted that, and I didn't see a deer all year until like November. I saw one buck, and I just lost it. Like I was shaking. I got the full draw back, and I shot like 5 feet to the left. I was so goddamn nervous. And like just ever since then, I'm like, okay, this is the thing to do. And I just got hooked. And so and a lot of that came from like watching these people on YouTube go through these journeys. And I think the people who get the archery journey right, like the most raw, what we would go through, not as like somebody that like on TV you see a lot of like these massive hunts where they're on some giant ranch, and there's
Mhm.
unrealistic things going on there. I think people that got it right, the most right, are the born and raised guys with their elk hunts and what they've done, and the hunting public guys as well. Those guys, because they hunt is public land,
Yep.
like all the stuff we can access, and just like watching them go through um their emotional like elk hunt journeys is just something that's like so captivating to me. And I'm like, yo, like this, like it's like they cry if they kill like an elk, and like they wound it, and they track it for hours, and then they find it, and it's just such like, I'm not even there, and I'm
Mhm.
like, just like, oh my god, sick to my stomach, like, man, that shot just wasn't good. And then like the instant gratification when you see it, and I'm just like, yeah. I guess where I was going with that is like, who do you like watch? Because like obviously YouTube like piqued a lot of your interest. Who do you watch? Like who are you into?
Who do I watch? So, um,
That was a massive tangent.
no, no, I that was it. No, I watch a lot of the born and raised guys. Like you said, it's a huge roller coaster of emotion, and
I remember you said you didn't like them at first because they hugged you like too
yeah,
much and
yeah.
shit.
I didn't at first because I started off with like a meat eater where it's like he kills an animal and he's very humble. He's extremely
Yeah.
humble and he goes up to it like he's done this 1,000 times and he's like, okay, yep, here it is. I did this. Awesome.
Hmm.
But then with the born and raised guys, one of the first videos I saw, they were just freaking out over killing this animal, and I found it disrespectful. I didn't like it.
Hmm.
But then after watching a few more videos and you see how much work they put into it, and you watch episodes and nothing even happens. They're just hiking miles up and down and up and down all over this huge landscape. They call in bulls, they miss shots, they injure them, they follow them forever, and then they finally like get it, and then there's just this huge excitement burst. And when that happens, you can't even like contain yourself. So that's when like the freak out happens. So I've come to realize that it makes sense, that sort of reaction. But at first, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, I remember because like the first video I sent you, like I forgot which one specifically it was. I just know that they got it and they like just lost their shit because they're just like so emotionally overwhelmed. And like, I mean, yeah, you see that happen in 30 minutes, but like I didn't send you like the 9 days where they didn't see elk or like didn't find them or like messed up their setups. And that's like a lot of what like TV, like television hunting does not show, like the Outdoor Channel, Sportsman Channel, whatever. It doesn't show like half of the work
Mhm.
put into this. And that's what I love about YouTube, man. Like YouTube is raw. It's like what what you see on YouTube most of the time is what the sport should be. It's
Yeah.
super, super cool. Is there anyone else that you're like really, really into?
I went through a big Cam Hanes
Oh,
phase,
well, yeah.
going through all of his hunts. I mean, that dude is just an absolute laser beam. And then anything with like Joe Rogan attached to it, I'm there for it. I mean, that's my dude. But mainly like the born and raised guys for
Cameron Haynes is just an absolute monster of a human.
he's insane. Dude, he's insane. He's doing like marathon runs of like over 200 miles.
I was gonna say marathon, dude, 200 miles.
Dude, no. He runs a marathon every day.
Yeah.
Every day. That's insane. It's insane. He wakes up, he runs like half of it, he comes back, he goes to his normal job.
Yeah.
And shoots a bow for like, however long. And then he runs like the other half of a marathon. Or he just does it all in like one sitting.
But he just works out.
He's insane. He's insane. He's a different human being.
No, like there is something absolutely different about him that's not in you or me. Like he is an absolute freak.
No.
And with I say freak with utmost respect. Like this man, this dude's like 40.
He's a man. He's a man.
This is a man.
He has the David Goggins mentality, which so little have.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't even
work harder.
Like it. The mental strength that those individuals have to do what they do is incredible, and we will never understand that unless we.
I'd have to like. I would probably have to like go like to like boot camp or like Marine boot camp or something to get the mental strength. But like, the thing, how serious he takes archery. He takes archery shots between sets of working out. And like he'll do a set of like bench or whatever, and then he'll draw back and like it'll just be at 10 yards, but it's just to keep. I think he was talking about this. I don't know if it was Rogan or maybe John Dudley, but it's to keep like his muscle memory like intact, like under pressure, like in case he has to like not sprint after something, but like go through like a lot of cardiac or cardiac stress to get to a certain point and like just keep his cool and stuff under pressure, keep his shot steady. But like, yeah, man, Cam Hanes is absolute.
He's incredible. I mean, he's developed his body for the sport, for perfection. I mean, he's dialed these muscle groups in, and I mean, they're so strong. I mean, he pulls a 90-pound bow.
Yeah.
He gets them custom made to 90 pounds.
Yeah.
And he just easily draws that back. He's nice, calm, just so in control of the situation. And then for the style of hunting that he does, he is cruising up mountains.
Yeah.
He is moving and he doesn't stop. And so that's where that conditioning comes into play.
Oh yeah. That's great. Once you get into like more of archery, like once you get a bow, because you're gonna
once I do, it's over.
Yeah, it's over. You got to start watching the hunting public so you can get into whitetail hunting. And these guys are premises like, so they go like all over like the Midwest and the South and stuff, and they like archery hunt public land whitetails. And like, public land is like severely like, it's not like looked down upon. It's just that like a lot of people think that the common conception is you cannot kill mature deer on public land, and it's just not true. And these guys prove it because they kill monster bucks every single year. And it's really, really interesting because it's not like, because these are deer you'd expect to like find on a guided high fence hunt.
Mhm.
And it's just super cool. And the tactics they use are really, really down. Like these guys are like the hardcore of the hardcore as far as whitetail hunters. Like it's crazy. Like I gotta send you some of their videos, but like it's just ridiculous.
What are they called again?
The Hunting Public.
The hunting public.
Get
Okay.
it because
and it's
they,
like a group of guys,
yeah,
like the same group. Okay. And then they
Yeah.
just go all over the country.
the deer tour they call it.
The deer tour.
Yeah, a couple of them are from Wisconsin actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They've hunted. I know where they hunt in Wisconsin, and I'm not gonna say it. It was just by luck that I know where it is. Just I caught a specific sign of a bar. Yeah, but anyway, not the point.
Coordinates undisclosed.
Undisclosed because it's just like I wouldn't want somebody to, where especially more of like where I fished, because I primarily hunt private land right now. Anyway, so yeah, that's cool. You gotta check them out.
For sure.
To kind of pivot, or not really pivot, just like add on to your new hunter journey. Right. Yes, quite. Dude, I can't with the wizard hat, man. Like it's I don't know. I don't know if it's the onesie.
All right.
Like it, no. See if you did see. No, no. That's way worse.
There you go. How about that?
That's way worse.
How about that? Just gotta
put the wizard hat back on.
Put the wizard. Like the.
Dude, I can't.
In all of its glory?
I can't, because it just reminds me of that one Snapchat you sent me where it's like, I saw your story and I feel attacked.
It's too good. I love how this is also like a school project.
This is, yeah, and I'm leaving all that banner in.
Okay, good. I hope your professor enjoys this.
I really think she will. I mean, if she didn't, I don't know what kind of person she'd be, but.
Well, let's hope she enjoys it.
Yeah, because we're being like super serious and like somewhat philosophical, and then you're just in a onesie and a wizard hat.
Yeah, we're having good conversation.
Yeah, it's good. Anyway, so to your first like serious hunt is this weekend.
I'm very excited.
You're coming
turkey. Very nervous.
Yeah, so you are nervous.
Yeah, bit? I think it's nerves from excitement, and it's sorry. I think it's nerves from excitement.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect. I mean, I literally have been on this property once. I've never been turkey hunting. It's completely different on how you have to act, how you have to go into hunting the animal. And I know very little. So I'm going to be leaning on you to, coach and teach me through how to do this.
It's going to be an interesting learning experience, because I've never turkey hunted with somebody that's never turkey hunted before. And I brought Dom with me last year, but I think he's done it before. Yeah, I'm not sure. And I think that a lot of like people's conception of turkey hunting is, just gonna go sit in this blind, wait. Maybe they come, maybe they don't. Mm-hmm. Just light it off. They don't come, I'll just come back tomorrow and they'll be here. And that's not really how I hunt. And it's just so different from what you have done. It's completely different. It's gonna be it's gonna be an intimate experience in comparison to like comparison to archery deer hunting. It's a lot of things are going to have to go right. And I think I'm just going to put this out there. I think we're going to get it done. One of us is going to kill one. One of us is going to kill one.
Might have to have a follow-up podcast on how the
absolutely
how the hunt goes.
Absolutely. I almost wish this project was due next week so we could discuss it. Like, so like this
Oh,
could have been the
that would
pilot
be such a good
episode.
idea.
I know, but so like this could be the pilot episode, and then we break down the whole experience next time. Oh,
Next one, that would be
so
really good.
ideal. I might just like, we might still do it and then email. I might just email to her like, hey,
If
like,
you do that, I think that would be fantastic,
I
and it
think,
shows your passion, your interest, and then she's, I mean,
give me
it's
an extra
the
100
excitement.
points. Let's go.
I think she would really enjoy that.
Yeah.
And I think we should do that.
But yeah, I think we're gonna get an opportunity at a turkey. I think it's just gonna come down a lot to how you handle the situation. And I almost really I'm scared for the situation that we might end up in where like it's gonna be because when I took my little brother hunting with me this year, he didn't see the deer that he shot until it about ran him the hell over.
Jeez.
Like it was 5 feet away from him. And we're like sitting there, boys. I'm like, Ryan, shoot it or it's gonna run you over. And then he shot it, and he missed the first time. We had to
just stand there in shock.
It ran like 20 feet away, and yeah, we eventually got her down. But yeah, it was like it's kind of what I'm nervous is going to happen. I think that you're going to have some sort of visual awareness that I have. First of all, it comes with experience for one, and turkeys are going to be a little easier to see, but it's going to be a lot more of like hearing. It's going to be, you're going to have to learn a level of sitting still that you are probably not used to and not very comfortable with. It's just gonna be a brand new experience to what you're used to. And I'm very excited to teach you. Let me just point that out. I'm excited to teach you. It's just going to be an interesting experience. Much less that, like, hopefully you can keep your cool when we get to it, because if this thing comes in gobbling, you're going to be losing your mind.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to be able to contain yourself. I'm going to guarantee you that, because I wasn't able to.
Yeah.
Because I harvested my first turkey last year, and I've been turkey hunting for like 6 years, 7 years. And it was I had enough time where, like, okay, I saw the toms and they stood at 60 yards, so I had enough time to calm down, and they weren't going to come in. So I kind of just shot them at 60 yards, which you're not going to do. I'm not going to let you do that. But like, they were far.
Yeah.
Like, well, a little too far. And so, like, I hope you're going to have time to see them and calm down a little bit and come in. But like, there's a good to fair chance that you're not going to see this bird until it's within 10 feet of us, depending on how we get set up. And it's a very real possibility. And I'm kind of more interested to see how you handle something like that towards opposed to like how you handle like if just coming, because like if it's just coming, I'm like, all right, breathe, calm down, and I can like tell you exactly when to shoot. Whereas opposed to if it just comes out, I'm like, dude, as soon as you see that thing's neck, you need to kill it.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, I think with either way, if the scene plays out controlled, where we can call it in, we can see it come in, and then shoot at a manageable distance and a safe distance, I'm still going to be freaking out.
Yeah, I know.
To, like, if we're calling and we hear nothing whatsoever and Tom just comes flying in, I'm just going to have to react. And, I might just react and then, I realize what just happened. Or, I think no matter what, I'm going to be shaking. And I'm going to have a huge adrenaline rush. And I think it's just going to be a great experience no matter what.
What do you have, like, any like overarching questions about turkey hunting and how the experience is going to play out? Because this is an outdoor podcast. So if you have an outdoors question.
Ooh, an
about
outdoor.
turkeys. About turkeys.
Oh, we're on to the question segment.
Well, sort of, but not really. But yeah.
Buff might have a question.
Oh, Buff. I mean, Buffy's raising his hand. More just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
more of just like something to be interesting, you know, like not like, oh, we're gonna get groceries, but like, you know, if you have like any cool.
Yeah, I'm curious because I know a lot of people hunt in blinds, and that's not what we're going to be doing.
No.
So, with this, how are we going to navigate the landscape? Are we going to be going to various spots that you know and kind of like set up with, you know, like nature, if you will? Like if there's like logs down this and that, and then we kind of like set up behind that, or set up like with bushes, or like where do you see us kind of moving from spot to spot?
So when people hunt turkeys out of blinds, it's because they scouted they have scouted and they know that the turkeys are eventually going to by the come by their decoys and their setup at some point, right? And what we're going to be doing is more of like we are playing to the turkeys. We are setting up to the turkeys as opposed to turkeys playing to our setup.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is going to be like we're not going to like have time to like build a blind for ourselves. Like it's very much going to be like the scenario is in the morning we're going to wake up. We're going to listen for gobbles out of the car. And depending on where we hear those birds go off, we're going to put ourselves, especially right away in the morning, right? Right away in the morning, we're going to put ourselves in the best position that we can, given the location of the birds, to try and kill those birds. It might be within 50 yards. It might be we might get like right under the tree on accident. It's just gonna, and by that we'll play it by ear. We could be set up on a log. We could be just leaning up, sitting up back against a tree. We could end up belly crawling through a field to get to one pine tree because we need some better cover. And when I say belly crawl, like I mean belly crawl. Like we might be doing a little bit of that because turkeys have the best eyesight of any like game animal, at least in the state. I would be willing to bet in the country too. Like they can see better than we can.
Mhm.
And they also get very, very spooky. So it's going to be a lot of that towards like, if there's a lull when they're not gobbling, then we're going to set up in certain spots to where I know that they feed or like nest or all that. And then we're going to hunt choke points at that kind of point in the day. And then, like I mentioned this before, there's going to be a period between about 7:45 and 8:45 in the morning where there's probably going to be a bird that gobbles again. And that thing is going to come cruising at us. And then we're going to have to set up really, really quickly and optimally in the best way, because that's going to happen very, very. That's if that bird gobbles, that bird's going to come in almost every time. And that's going to happen really, really quickly. So, and it's going to be a lot less like optimal setup. It's going to be more of like we're going to have to like just roll the dice on our setup and like just make sure that's where the whole not moving thing comes so much into play. Like sitting very as still as you can. So that's kind of like how we're going to be set up, and that's just how I've always hunted, and we don't really have like the agriculture fields to like hunt on a blind. So yeah.
Gotcha. So unfortunately, we're only going to have 2 days. I'm going to have 2 days.
Yeah.
And so we're not going to be able to go out there and kind of, walk around and scout and kind of see like where they're going to be nesting. So Saturday, if we kind of, we're following one, we kind of see like where he's nesting. Sunday, how are we going to set up for that bird once he comes down?
So if we get a bird roosted on Saturday, how we're going to play that on Sunday is we're going to have to get up earlier. We are going to do our best to get not exactly right under him, but within 30 to 40 yards of him. And that's going to be a big challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they can't see in the dark, but they can still hear very well, and that's just going to be a challenge. And we have that setup has to occur when there's zero light.
Mhm.
So like we're not going to be able to have headlamps.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the play if we can get a bird roosted on Saturday. And that's more than likely going to result in good things.
Yeah.
Then I say again, I've also all the turkeys that I've killed in the last 6 years, or I've seen killed between 7:45 and 8 o'clock in that lull. But I've never successfully roosted a bird or gotten close enough. Anyway, so that's kind of how we're going to play that on Sunday.
Gotcha.
Or the day after.
Gotcha. So when we get the bird nested and we get them Sunday, roosted. Sorry. We're still learning here. There we go. There's a good teaching moment.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to be the first meal that we're preparing?
Probably cut up some turkey breast, right? And we'll probably just lightly grill them.
Okay.
Or sear them in some olive oil or whatnot. And we'll have a nice little either turkey salad or turkey sandwich.
Okay.
Probably gonna want to slow cook the legs and the tougher meat because turkey is kind of a dry meat, especially wild turkey. So that's probably what we'll do. Or just throw it on the grill because screw it.
Yeah. There we go. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Just take a big old hunk of meat like a caveman.
There we go. Exactly.
And so kind of to move on here to kind of our last little segment. You kind of we're about to go gear crazy. You were gonna drop like hundreds of dollars on new Sitka setup or new Sitka stuff, and I tried to talk you out of it. I mean, you did end up getting like a hat, and it's like another like expensive camo, but you were about to drop ridiculous amounts of money.
I was indeed.
Yeah.
I didn't. I did have to get something Sitka,
yes.
Which I got the hat. That's still a little pricey, but reasonable. And I had to do it. Oh
my God.
But I got stuff that's gonna be. It's nice. It's gonna last. But once you have that stuff, then you're set.
Yeah.
So that's where my mindset kind of was like, okay, if I'm gonna buy stuff, rather buy something nice initially if you see yourself continuing, rather than just kind of buying something like it's okay, and then you buy something a little bit nicer, and then you ultimately spend more money than you would if you just initially spent the upfront cost. But at the same time, we don't know how I'm gonna react if I'm gonna like this or not. I might not like this, but I might like something else, or I might not like that and like that. So we don't know yet. But
we don't know yet.
Yes, I almost went off the rails with the gear, but I didn't.
Man, all you really need is a camo jacket, pants, some boots, and some gloves. It's really all you need, and you don't have to spend. Like my pants are $20 pants from Walmart. And I mean, they've lasted me a couple years. But like, I mean, eventually I'm going to drop some serious money. And you also need a shotgun. Yeah. But like, you don't need to like he would be sending me like these links to like these $200 Sitka stuff. And I'm like, dude, hold on. Let's just back up. Don't buy that. It's so overpriced. It's cool looking.
It's very cool looking.
And they do a really good job with their branding and their marketing team and all that stuff, but like it's just not worth it.
Hey man, Joe Rogan wears it, so that means I gotta wear it.
Well, because Joe Rogan got $100 million from Spotify.
Yeah, that might have helped.
Yeah, he can wear whatever he wants.
That's true.
Yeah,
Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
the almighty powerful.
The almighty powerful. I don't even have a timer to how long we've been going.
Gone for a decent amount.
I think at least 20 minutes.
Oh, dude, at least.
Yeah. When did I send you that email to join the Zoom call? Because that'll dictate on whether we talk about this bear video or not, which I already talked about in
Oh,
the pilot.
dude, you sent me that 47 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. We don't need to talk about that bear video then.
Yeah, dude, we were cooking.
We were cooking.
We talked plenty.
Oh, hey. First of all, before we get out of here, big thanks to you for coming on the second inaugural episode of the Born Wild podcast. Hey, be sure to go ahead and follow. What's your Instagram name, Noah? Even though you don't really do anything with it because you're a finance bro.
That's true. I really don't. But Noah May 19.
Dude, if you kill a turkey, can you please put it a picture of you and your bird on Instagram?
Hey man, we'll see.
You're gonna do it.
I don't usually post, so
I'm gonna make you. Don't make me come over there and kiss you. Anyway,
right in the mouth.
Right in the face. You can please follow us on Instagram at bornwild_2016 for all sorts of content related to the show. Follow the Twitter at bornwild. Follow the TikTok at bornwild and subscribe to our YouTube channel at bornwild. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. That's the way you're going to help us climb that mother chart. And follow us on Spotify. Share this with a friend. Cannot stress that enough. That's how we grow. Hey, like send this to your buddy that's also thinking about getting into this sport, and then that way he'll get into it too. Because I guarantee you, there's nobody to get you into this sport like me. With that said, hope everybody has a good week, and most importantly, stay wild.
Ooh, stay wild.
Yeah.